Hey everyone, it's Christian here once again, and Serie A just finished with a wild ending, man. Lots of stuff happened. Very interesting things as well, and everything's assured. All the spots are taken, final teams are all relegated. We're gonna get right into that and just talk about everything. Well, that happened the last match day. I will do another video capping off the whole season, but this is just solely on the last match day, round 38. Talk about the final standings, final results of the 2018-2019 season. So now getting into the results, 2 games on Saturday. They were not that important, really. First game was Frosinone Chievo, finished 0-0. Sergio Pellicier's last game with the club. Both of these teams will go down to Serie B, and they will hope to fight again in Serie B to get back into the top flight next season. Then the later game was Bologna-Napoli. Bologna taking the win 3-2, and under Mihailovic, they have done an excellent job. They are actually on a 7-game winning streak at home. He has changed the club ever since he has come in charge, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do in a full season with Bologna next year. Next we have Torino-Lazio, which was the only morning game on Sunday, and that finished 3-1. Lazio were already assured a Europa League spot because of their Coppa Italia victory. Torino were hoping to just play it out. They wouldn't have been able to get Europe, even depending on how Roma did, because Roma had the head-to-head over them, so they were just playing in their last home game, and it was also Moretti's last game for the club and of his career, so they were just playing also to get a victory for the home crowd and for him. They did have a nice little thing at the end of the game for him. Another one leaving the game. We had the midday game, which was Sampdoria and Juve. Juve winning twice in a row at home to Juve, especially last year they won 3-2. This year they win 2-0. Juve weren't playing a lot of their main players. There were a few, yeah. Then they put on a lot of youngsters. They were even starting Pinsoglio and net. We had De Frel, who scored the 1,000th goal in Serie A, and then Caprari capping off the victory with a splendid free kick going top corner. And even after this game was assured anyways, Quagliarella finished as the capo canoniere in the game. We'll talk about that again later on. Now we had all the games at 2:30, and this was one hell of an afternoon. Oh my god. I was watching the game with my dad, who's a Milan fan, my brother, who's my dad, who's an Inter fan. I don't want to get that mixed up. And then my brother, who is a Roma fan. So it's just one crazy afternoon, me cheering for Milan and Empoli as well as Sassuolo. But we're keeping an eye on the Inter, Empoli, Spal, Milan, and of course Roma Parma. We'll get into that. So Roma Parma finished 2-1. Good victory in De Rossi's last game for the club. They did again a nice farewell. Francesco Totti was there as well, congratulating him on his Roma career. He leaves after, I believe it was 16 years at the club, something like that, but he came right through the Primavera, became the captain after Francesco Totti left. So taking over, I'm wondering where he will go, because again, he said he does not want to play against Roma, so it's very unlikely that he'll stay in Serie A. Maybe he'll come over here, play in the MLS, maybe join his former teammate Bradley at TFC. Doubt that, but who knows where he'll go. Then we had Atalanta Sassuolo. Now this was also an important one because Atalanta needed a victory to secure their spot in the Champions League, but just in case they need to have other results go their way, they went down to Sassuolo. Zapata comes back. Then there's a huge scuffle at the break. Magnanelli lately, not even a headbutt, just like nods De Royne's head. He goes down like crazy. Everyone's in a scuffle. Then players are being booked. Players are separating each other. It was honestly a ridiculous mess. If you guys haven't seen the clip, find it, take a look at it again. In case I wish I could post it because I'm not sure with copyright issues and whatnot, so I don't want to get this video taken down. Berardi gets sent off in the tunnel. So that left Sassuolo in 10 men throughout the whole second half. Atalanta took advantage of that. They won 3-1. They finished third and qualified for the Champions League for the first time ever. We had then as well Cagliari Udinese. Udinese got their win. They assured their spot in Serie A. So this game too wasn't much to play for as well. Udinese were most likely safe, but they still got the result to secure it. Fiorentina Genoa Now Fiorentina are winless in 14 games, but all they needed was a point to stay up. Genoa were fighting for the win as well, but they also had to make sure Empoli lost. That helped in their result anyway, so they secured it because they had better head-to-head over Empoli. So this was a good result. Fiorentina and Genoa both staying up. Inter Empoli, and my God, the amount of times I was swearing at this game because Empoli could not score. Again, being a Milan fan, it was very stressful this last day, but Dragowski is unbelievable, and I can't believe Fiorentina has stated they were going to sell him and stay with Lafont. He has been a monster since taking over at Empoli, since coming in January. He didn't even play right away. It was a few games. He came in and was just a complete monster between the posts. It's unbelievable. He saved Empoli so many times during this game. Empoli played really well, but just so hard to capitalize. And Donovic coming up big. Inter's defense coming up big. Inter did take the lead just after the half. Substitute Keita, and what was probably going to be his last appearance for the club, scores. Inter get a non-existent penalty. That's what I feel as well. I don't know how you guys feel, but from what I saw there, and even my dad is sort of, it was very hard to admit, but it wasn't that much of a penalty in it. Icardi goes and misses it. Empoli then tie late on, and that was costing Inter the Champions League. Then they get a goal late on with Raja Nainggolan. And guys, if you didn't even see this or even hear about it, the goal they scored, Inter, was the exact same minute that Inter had scored their goal last year against Lazio to secure Champions League football. If that's not a coincidence, I don't know what is. An interesting thing too, because Dragowski went up at the end of the game to try and score from the corner, I believe it was. Inter go on the counterattack and score, but the goal gets waved off because in the build-up to that, before Brozovic kicked it from half, Keita pulled down Dragowski and got sent off, so they called back the goal. There's more time added on. And then Empoli had so many chances to score, but D'Ambrosio, again with goal line clearances, securing Inter the 3 points that they need. Oh my God. Again, if you saw how much I was just going off at this game, and I'm not even an Inter fan, I was, oh my God. It was very stressful. And then the other game too was Spal Milan. I was again going crazy because of Milan scoring and needing the result they need to secure the Champions League football, but unfortunately it wasn't enough because of the other results. They went up 2 goals, conceded 2, and then Kessie scoring a penalty late on to secure the victory, and at least Milan ended off on a 4-game winning streak. But again, the Europa League wasn't what they wanted. They wanted Champions League football, and they're going to look back at all the games that they gave up leads late on that could have given them a full 3 points, and that could have seen them in the Champions League. So we'll even go into the final standings as well. So we already know Juventus were champions, and they've been winless ever since they've clinched it. So they've been remaining on 90 points. Napoli behind by 11 points. Atalanta finishing 3rd because of the head-to-head over Inter, tied points at 69, and then Milan just under by a point here, 68. And again, it's just the point that, again, Milan couldn't get. Then we see Roma three points out of the Champions League spot at 66. Now, because, as we see here, Milan and Lazio are the darker colors, that means they get automatic qualification into the Europa League group stages. Milan finishing 5th, and Lazio because they won the Coppa Italia. So that means Roma has to go through the playoffs for the Europa League, so they're going to have to get right into it come July or August, whenever the schedule comes out, and depending which round they have to go through. I believe it's most likely the 2nd or 3rd round, so they have to go 2 rounds of qualifying before they can qualify for the group stage. With Bologna's win too, they finished in the top 10. That is unbelievable for them. And again, since Mihajlovic took over, they've done an excellent job. 7 consecutive home wins. It's unbelievable. And again, I like to see how he will do with a full season ahead of him and a full transfer market to work with, and how he'll revamp this Bologna team. Just take a look at the bottom table. We know Chievo was relegated, Frosinone were relegated, and Empoli moved down because they lost, and Genoa picked up a point, but Genoa having the head-to-head over Empoli. And I'm really anxious to see how Empoli will try to get back in it. They will be losing some players, that's for sure. Dragowski was only on loan. unless Empoli will try to buy him from the club. Di Lorenzo supposedly has terms agreed with Napoli, so he could be on the way out. Benacer, who's been a magician in the midfield, he's very wanted for a price that most likely won't be too expensive since they're going down Serie B. We'll keep an eye out. And then, as I mentioned before, Fiorentina were very close to getting relegated, 3 points out. They're winless in 14 games. There's going to be a lot of changes to be necessary for this club. And again, I'll go on to now some of the other things. So as we saw again, Atalanta making Champions League, finished third. It's an unbelievable achievement for such a small club like that. No one would have ever thought coming to the beginning of the season. And I didn't even have them in my top 4 for the predictions. And again, that'll come in another video as well. I wish them the very best. Credit to them. I do wish Milan was there, but what are you going to do? Full credit to Atalanta. They pulled, after such a slow start at the beginning of the season, they came back, managed to get results. Duvan Zapata leading the way, Josip Bilicic, Papu Gomez. They created a strong team, and I am looking forward to see how they will do, how they're going to strengthen their team for the Champions League, and I'm wishing them the best of luck. We also have Samir Handanovic finishing as the top goalie this year. He may not be the most highly rated when it comes to like the stats and whatnot. What I mean by the best goal is he had the most clean sheets of the season. He finished with 17 clean sheets. That is outstanding. That's almost half the Serie A match days. That is incredible. Full credit goes to even the Inter defense. They'll hope that he continue it throughout the next season for sure. He is again on the wrong side of 30, but he's still a great keeper. Every money spent, well spent on him, and he will definitely continue this next year. And again, Inter getting another center back in Godin next year, so that will really solidify the defense. And then Capo Cannoniere goes to Fabio Quagliarella, aging like fine wine, finished with 26 goals at the age of 36. This man is unbelievable. Full credit. He deserves it. He finally gets the award. Every year he kept getting more and more goals. He had such an outstanding season, and it's too bad that Sam couldn't finish higher. It'll be interesting to see too if he will stay there come next season. I think he will. If not, maybe go to Napoli, because that's where he did love. He is from there. But it'll be interesting to see too how Sam will build around him as well. I know he's close to retirement for sure. 36. I believe he can keep going. He can keep scoring. He keeps scoring more and more. Maybe he'll reach 30 goals next year. And he did break the record of scoring in 11 consecutive games in Serie A, tying Gabriel Battistuta's record. It's an achievement in itself. Now, thank you, legends. These 5, at least. Hopefully, I didn't miss any. We're all servants for their respective clubs, spending so much of their time and love for the club, doing everything they can for the club they play for. Andrea Barzali, Sergio Pellissier, Emiliano Moretti, all retiring from their respective clubs. They're even retiring Sergio Pellissier's number, and he also finishes as the all-time top goal scorer for Chievo Verona. I said earlier too, Danilo De Rossi leaving Roma after so long, coming from the Primavera ranks, becoming captain. It is such a sad sight to see him go. And then Ignacio Abate, who played his last game last weekend in front of the San Siro faithful, says goodbye to the Milan faithful. And he also wanted to end his tenure at Milan on a high note, achieving Champions League football. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but he gave it all for the club. He was one of the last few members of the Scudetto winning team from 2011. So it was sad to see him go. We again thank you all for your dedication, your love for the colors that you represent. So everyone, that is a recap of what happened in the last match day of Serie A. Again, I will be doing something with all my friends talking about this season, what we thought. So keep an eye out for that video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more Calcio content. Click the bell button for notifications on our newest videos. And follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros. And we hope to hear what you guys think about this season. Ciao.